Hey, this is Faye, and today we're gonna read a little bit more. Do you know how to read? I don't, at least not when I'm running a dungeon. But I do have this compulsive need to click anything that sparkles, so when I come out of a dungeon, I generally have this long ass wall of text that somebody in development or the localization team took their time writing up. And sometimes you have to ask yourself what they're smoking in that office, because some of these stories are really out there. You might have seen some of them, you might even have read some of them, but here's me going back, rereading all of them aloud, even though I suck at reading aloud. And that means that you just have to lean back and relax and enjoy. Also, massive disclaimer. I am not a native English speaker, as you have probably guessed from my really weird accent. Also, I am not good at reading aloud, and I am by no means a voice actress, so I wouldn't have the first clue how to deliver this in a cohesive and dramatic and engaging way that is not cringeworthy. I try. And also, some of these words are just messed up and really hard for somebody like me to pronounce. So I will mangle mostly the English language, like I just did right there. But I will also, for your entertainment, mangle Latin, or the English Scandinavian version of Latin, and I don't quite know if that makes it better or worse. I can't tell. But at the very least, hopefully you can still follow somewhat what I am saying, and hopefully you will find it entertaining or relaxing, or at the very least it's saving you the run of the dungeon to get this information. So, enjoy! On Garlean Hierarchy, Volume 1. The rise of the Galleon Empire in the year 1522 of the 6th Astral Era led to significant changes in the structure of Gallean society. This is most evident in the adoption of titles, which serve to indicate an individual's place within the social hierarchy. The following information was compiled with the aid of informants within the empire and has yet to be verified. Royalty. Sos, the emperor. Ye, member of the royal family in the line of succession. Ver, member of the royal family with no claim to the throne. Military. Van legatus, tol tribunus laticlavius. Sas tribunus angusticlavius or praefectus castrorum. Rem primus pilus or pilus prior. Quo primi audiens or centurion. Per optio Thessarius or decurion. Owen Duplicarius or legionarius. Specialists. None. Chief engineer or engineer. Mal. Primus medicus or senior magitech technician. Lux. Chief medicus or magitech technician. Cur. Senior medicus or senior technician. Gen. Medicus or technician. On Garlean Hierarchy, Volume 2. Public officials. Yell. Dictator or Princeps Senatus. Head, Consul, Praetor, Tribunus Plebis, Aedilis or Caestor. Go, Censor. Fey, unknown. Aya, unknown. Dus, lictor. This hierarchy extends to the general populace as well, though it is far less complex. The majority of the citizens bear the Bas title, and there is a smaller group which appears to be comprised of respected artisans who have adopted the Sen title. The An title is bestowed upon the peoples of annexed territories and indicates that they lack even the most basic rights afforded to a citizen. However, many Galleans view this as an opportunity rather than a condemnation, as citizenship may be granted to those who have demonstrated exceptional skills, as well as those who have contributed 20 or more years of military service. Essence and Permutations. Chapter 1. The 6 Nativities and Myriad Creation. The spark of lightning ignites when it strikes, and thus fire is born. The heat of fire renders to ash all that it touches, and thus earth is born. The density of earth shuns sun, and harbors cold, and thus ice is born. The armor of ice melts away, and thus water is born. The moistness of water mists and rises, and thus wind is born. The gusts and sighs of wind gather the clouds, and thus lightning is born. Chapter 2. The Free Conquests, Boundless and Unwavering. Earth grounds lightning. Water erodes earth. Lightning boils water. Chapter 3. The Free Submissions, Timeless and Unending. Fire is extinguished by wind. Ice is melted by fire. Wind is obstructed by ice. Over the horizon. Though there is some debate as to whether or not Merlwyr Blahiswin and her League of Lost Bastards were the first Eorzeans to discover the Western continent, there is no denying that their navigational charts were instrumental in establishing the major trade routes of today. Moreover, the accounts from their expeditions are widely regarded as both informative and entertaining. Of particular note is their first encounter with the Mamul-Ja, as well as other indigenous peoples and creatures which seemed curiously intent on their demise. These travel journals have since inspired a legion of explorers and treasure hunters to retrace the League's journey. Yet, in spite of their numbers, the existence of a bleeding city of gold remains unconfirmed. Leather-bound diary. Beauty is ephemeral, but it needn't be. My Lady Amandine knows this well, lovely creature that she is. Would that I could have the genuine article in my keeping, but alas, I shall have to settle for a pale imitation. The vessel is not quite up to my usual standards, but beggars can't be choosers, as they say. I washed and anointed it per the instructions, then secured it to the bed with chains. Wouldn't want her to get ideas above her station, oh no. God, just the thought of it is enough to get my blood pumping. I can hardly wait to welcome my beloved succubus into this world. Leather-bound diary. The tentacles. So many tentacles. And the sound of it rising on the bed. God, just listening to it is agony. I've made a terrible mistake. This concludes the law reading of the parchments of the great Gubal Library. I hope that you enjoyed this, all of the terrible voice acting included, and that you now don't feel the need to go and check on it, even if you probably didn't before either. But then again, why are you even watching this video? Anyways, I hope that you will join me again when I do the Great Gubal Library Hard. That is probably going to be the next lore reading video that I will do of these dungeon tours. But otherwise, I have been asked to do a little bit of a tour guiding lore reading on the Asim Steppe. And I do concede that there is a lot of interesting lore in that area too. It's clearly an area where the developers put in a lot of love and a lot of effort and a lot of thought. And not all of it is shown in the MSQ. So, yeah, I certainly hope that this helped illuminate something, or it was interesting or funny or relaxing. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.